Hello, good morning and welcome aboard to the AM News. My name is Denisia Poma Eje. Let's start from Parliament because the anti-LGBTQ bill will remain there for a while longer as the Supreme Court has deferred its ruling on an interlocutory application that aimed to prevent Parliament from transmitting the bill to the President. The two applicants, Richard Delaskai and Dr. Amanda Odoi, contend that the bill breaches some of the provisions of the Constitution and should not be transmitted to the President. The five-member Supreme Court panel chaired by Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu in deferring its ruling indicated it will give the decision in the injunction application and the substantive application together in an early trial. Head of our Legal Affairs Desk, Richard Kojonyako, has more in this report.
It was a huge day in court. The expectations of many was that they were going to hear whether the Supreme Court will grant the injunction application filed by journalist and lawyer Richard Delaskai and Dr. Amanda Odoi, a researcher with the University of Cape Coast. The two were seeking to bar Parliament from transmitting the anti-gay bill to the presidency for his accent or otherwise. But the Supreme Court says they are deferring their decision until the final determination of the substantive suit.
Substantive suit together, enabling this court to deliver a more informed, comprehensive and just decision that accounts for all relevant circumstances and factors in this important matter. Such a unified approach will further provide context and clarity and also afford a clearer understanding of the issues raised in this interlocutory matter and their impact on the main suit. Having therefore diligently analyzed all the material processes on the record in this instant application and listened to oral submissions by learned counsel for the parties, our decision is to reserve our verdict on the interlocutory application until the final determination of the substantive suit, at which point we will render a comprehensive judgment that addresses all aspects of the case, including the current application for injunction. In conclusion, the decision of this court on this application for an interlocutory injunction is hereby deferred to abide the outcome of the determination of the substantive suit.
Lawyer for Richard Delaskai indicated that the injunction application still holds and they are happy that that matter of course has been made because they felt that some of the pleadings that found place in the injunction application were the same or similar to the pleadings in the substantive matter.
We say that invariably, indirectly, it is still restraining any party from doing anything contrary to the demands of the application. Can't do it insofar as this matter is pending, otherwise it will amount to contempt of court, to the best of our understanding of the law. When the court speaks about an early trial, in effect what it means is that it will speed up the process towards the determination of the matter so that this whole issue of injunction before final determination will no longer take a center stage.
The Attorney General insists that once there is an injunction application pending and no determination has been made, Parliament cannot transmit this bill to the presidency.
Once that the court things can be better dealt with in a substantive action. And it's permissible for a court to do that. There's nothing unusual at all. The court actually referred to an existing rule on injunctions. And so I think that the court is fair in coming by that approach. I mean, if at this stage the process have not been transmitted, and there must be a reason for that. The reason is that there was this application for interlocutory injunction pending, and the court has still not disposed of the application for interlocutory injunction. The court said the determination of that application for interlocutory injunction should abide the determination of the main case, and for that matter, it is reserving its determination until the main action is heard. It tells you that the application for interlocutory injunction is still pending, has not been disposed of. And so I think that would be the proper course to take. I still have to follow my processes, and that would be the first point for me to take. So it's a matter of complying with the rules of court. I have to comply with the rules of court first before you think about an expeditious hearing. So the question of expeditious hearing of the main case does not arise at this stage until all processes have been filed and the parties are ready to move forward. You heard counsel for the first defendant even talking about an application for a consolidation that has to be made. and that has not been done. So I do not think that there's a need for us to reconsider the question.
From the Supreme Court, my name is Richard Kwejo for Joy News.
And away from Parliament and the Supreme Court, the verdict of the latest Afrobarometer report has positioned Ghana among countries in Africa witnessing a significant and continuous dip in democratic scorecard. This trend has been attributable to the current economic crisis, corruption and mismanagement, which is breeding anger and dissatisfaction, especially among the active population. There's more in this report.
Africa's democratic progress has faced a major challenge. Since 2020, military interventions have ousted elected governments in 6 countries, while 3 presidents have bypassed constitutional term limits to secure 3rd terms. Moreover, some leaders are subtly undermining democracy by consolidating power, weakening checks and balances, and intimidating political opponents. Afrobarometer, which has tracked African citizens' democratic aspirations and experiences for 25 years, reveals a troubling trend. According to Boniface Dulani, Director of Service at Afrobarometer, the growing discontent among youth regarding democratic governance does not augur well for the future of democracy in the sub-region.
It's true that the youth, I think, are more dissatisfied with the democracy, and they also are more inclined to support authoritarian forms of government, especially military rule. I think part of the problem here and the challenge, especially for the youth, is that when you also ask our respondents what are the most important things that they want the governments to be addressing, and unemployment is, I think, a big problem, and especially for the youth. So they are looking at alternative forms of government that can help to deliver on their needs, and especially on creation of jobs.
But Ghana has been positioned among countries in Africa that are witnessing a continuous dip in their democratic scorecards. Boniface Dulani recommends immediate pragmatic measures to avert any Kenyan-like situation in Ghana.
Well, of course, I mean, this is a very big continent, so as the report highlights, there are differences from country to country. Some of the countries like Ghana, we've seen a huge drop in satisfaction with democracy. And I think the reasons, as we know many of them, the economic situation in Ghana in recent years has not been particularly great. The youth have, as I've already said, like their colleagues elsewhere, are not happy with the amount of jobs that are being created. So,
barely 5 months to the general election, immediate past EC chairman Dr. Chifondo Kachali is advising the Electoral Commission of Ghana to purge itself of any suspicion in the conduct of the elections.
I think as election management body, it's always important to remember that credibility is very important. So everything you can do to ensure that you create a level of confidence in the stakeholders about the integrity of the processes that you're managing can never be underestimated. And one of the ways to do that really is just being transparent and open about everything you're doing. Sharing information, and people should be aware of what's going on and why things are happening a certain way, removes suspicion, because where there's too much suspicion, it gives rise to a lot of conspiracy theories. Where there's transparency and accountability, people have information to actually make informed decisions.
And collaborating with...
This Afrobarometer African Insights 2024 Democracy at Risk, the People's Perspective Report, is the first in what will be an annual series on high-priority topics to distill findings from data spanning more than a decade, including the latest round of nationally representative surveys in 39 countries, representing the views of more than 3/4 of the continent's population. For Joy News, Samuel Mbura, Accra.
Well, in an effort to boost health service delivery and expand accessibility, President Akufo-Addo has assured that 11 district hospitals and 1 polyclinic will be completed by end of year. Speaking at the commissioning of the Adanse Fomena Hospital in the Ashanti region, the president indicated that the projects form part of his agenda for transformation in the health sector. While indicating his commitment to establish hospitals for the newly created regions, the president underscored the need to complete various district hospitals alongside the Agenda 111 initiative. Nana Boachi-Yadom was there and filed this report.
President Akufo-Addo commissioned the 9-year-old Adanse Fomana Hospital, which was started by the John Mahama administration in 2015. The project, which was expected to be completed in 2017, was hit by some financial constraints. At the commissioning of the hospital, President Akufo-Addo indicated his government's commitment to completing stalled hospital projects. He says 11 district hospitals and 1 polyclinic are expected to be completed by the end of the year.
By the end of 2024, we'll also complete several significant projects, including the Urology and Nephrology Center of Excellence at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the construction of 11 district hospitals and 1 polyclinic in the Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, and Ahafo regions, and various treatment and holding centers. These efforts align with our commitment to achieving universal health coverage, guarantee improved and more efficient healthcare services for all Ghanaians. Furthermore, government's determination to improving our healthcare delivery system is evident in the Agenda 111 initiative, which is providing 101 standard 100-bed district hospitals with accommodation for doctors and nurses in districts without district hospitals.
According to President Akufo-Addo, the 6 newly created regions will have regional hospitals.
There's an average number of 120 workers on each construction site, and when completed, an average of 549 persons will be employed in a district hospital, 1,343 in a regional hospital, and 947 in each psychiatric hospital. This means that 67,635 people will be employed in the Agenda 111 hospitals. I urge the community to hold healthcare managers accountable for ensuring the facilities' proper utilization and timely maintenance, which are vital for sustained healthcare provision. Community support and commitment to the facilities managers are indispensable. This project also includes a 2-year post-completion maintenance and training program. Therefore, I encourage the Ghana Health Service to collaborate closely with the contractor's maintenance team to ensure the hospital's effective upkeep.
Minister of Health Dr. Bernard Okuboy says 3,000 bed spaces are expected to be added to the already existing hospital bed spaces in the Ashanti region.
Sabronum also has a 40-bed facility which is completed and is about to be operationalized. Suame, Mr. President, has a 40-bed facility that will be operationalized very soon. Dobonso also has a 40-bed facility. Mr. President, I'm also excited to mention that the military hospital at Afari, which has 500 beds, 500-bed capacity, is also ongoing and by the grace of God will be commissioned and operationalized this year. By January 2025, where by the grace of God you'll be handing over power, Mr. President, the Ashanti region is expected to have about 2,000 beds added to their health infrastructure capacity. Mr. President, if you add those on Agenda 111 list for the Ashanti region, you are looking at close to 3,000 beds addition within an 8-year period. Mr. President, certainly history will remember you not only as the education president, but also as the health president.
Adansehene Opeja-Kwotri Bwansra Afriye II pleaded with the government to complete roads leading to the newly commissioned hospital.
Hospital is na your problem back on this. Me ba tono, can send baby children. Na the dika ye pa bokumo no more chanitino and it's access road. you need access road the Eba Hospital. The Eba no, Eba school kwara ho, school ha. Ye wo kwan na ayase kwa no so. Ayase ho no, monfa kwa no meto ho. Na nyanyambia no, se kwan we kura sia. Na ambulance ba, na ankoye problem amayen.
For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwa.
Well, from the Ashanti region, let me take you to the Upper West region, where the lack of infrastructure, particularly accommodation for essential medical staff, is affecting the quality of healthcare in the Wa West district. Now, many doctors often refuse postings to this deprived area due to inadequate housing. Recently, a doctor almost declined a posting. But thanks to the efforts of the MP, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tobu, who renovated an old bungalow and furnished it for the doctor's use. Join News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafik Salam reports from Wichao.
One of the major challenges faced by health authorities in the Upper West region is the refusal of critical medical staff, especially medical doctors, to accept postings to the region. The few that sometimes accept the postings later decline due to unavailability of decent accommodation for them. The Wa West district, for example, over the years had several medical doctors posted to the district but turned down the offer because of lack of accommodation. Concerned about the health of the people, which he sees as one of his priorities since becoming a legislature, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tubu decided to renovate and furnish an old abandoned bungalow that was constructed by the Wa West District Assembly, which was in deplorable state at a cost of 90,000 Ghana cedis.
When I got the information about the fact that we had a medical doctor posted to the facility, and we were likely to lose a doctor because accommodation was a problem, whatever it would take for me to support the District Health Directorate and support the District Assembly for us to renovate this facility, to keep this doctor here, I will. And that is exactly what I've done, and that is why we are here today.
Medical Superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Benjamin Amiyori, was grateful to the MP for the support to the hospital over the years. Wa West District Chief Executive, Vade Dorothy, spoke of the commitment of the government to improve the health sector of the district.
Another activity that was undertaken by the Wa West Member of Parliament, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tubu, was at the Wa West District Hospital, where he inspected the completion of the surgical male ward that was ripped off by a windstorm.
Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tubu also refurbished 9 old AG motorbikes of the Wa West District Health Directorate to enable personnel to go for monitoring and other outreach programs. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Wichao.
Well, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged the police administration to develop modern strategies to boost their intelligence capabilities and enhance efficiency in preparation for the 2024 general election. In his address, he emphasized the critical role of a well-prepared and responsive police force in ensuring the safety and integrity of the electoral process. Dr. Bawumia, who was speaking at the commissioning of a police shop at the CID headquarters Wednesday, said effective policing is required to achieve violence-free elections.
The Snatch Them Young Policing Initiative, which focuses on school children, among several other initiatives, have ensured a more responsive, accountable, and operationally effective policing institution. Once again, I wish to commend the IGP, the members of the Police Management Board, and all officers and men for executing these initiatives under the police transformation agenda. I would like to urge you to continue to do more, especially as the nation prepares to go into a general election come December 7th.
Inspector General of Police Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare says the police administration will go all out to ensure the 2024 election is peaceful before, during and after the process. In what appears to be a reassuring statement, the IGP called on the civilian population to do their part to sustain the peace.
Be assured that we, the police, and the rest of the security agencies, working in concert under the National Election Security Task Force, will do our utmost best, working once again with all other stakeholders to ensure that this year's election will be peaceful and the country will continue to be seen as a trailblazer for the rest of the continent and beyond. So we want to organize, just do your part and be assured that there will be peace, because we will go all out to ensure that there is peace.
Interior Minister Henry Korte has also pledged to deliver on his mandate of sustaining the peace of the country. Speaking ahead of the commissioning of a police shop at the CID headquarters, the minister stated that very soon, anyone who makes a threatening statement on social media in relation to the upcoming elections will be prosecuted.
Oftentimes, we read in the papers, we watch videos, and we see people threatening on social medias. Very soon, and I repeat, very soon, under the False Publication Act, anybody who makes a threatening statement to incite violence before, during, and after the elections, we will make sure the law deals with the person and a court of competent jurisdiction will work.
Elections chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, has reiterated her commitment towards an open and transparent electoral process in the December polls. Two viral videos on social media appear to show women affiliated with the political party accusing the EC of registering voters and undertaking illegal transfer of votes. The EC has denied these claims, stating that the videos are misleading and false. During the presentation of the Democracy Cup to the EC by the leadership of Parliament, the chairperson of the Commission, Jean Mensah, assured of transparent elections and urged political leaders to accept the outcome of the polls.
Just like the football match, we serve as the midwives that birth the elections. We are the referees that conduct and that lay the election and the processes that lead to, the election day itself. And so as referees, we are committed to, ensuring that our activities from now in the lead up to the election and all our electoral processes are transparent, they are open, they are fair, and they are involve the collaboration of our key stakeholders, i.e. the political parties and the citizenry. So like the referee of the match this afternoon, we commit to ensuring transparency in all aspects of our work. Our activities are open, as I mentioned, right from the registration through to the declaration of elections. Everything is done in the full glare of the public. Nothing is hidden. And we will commit to this, to maintaining and ensuring that level of transparency across all aspects of our work. And so we also want to entreat and call upon the contestants of the election to accept the outcomes of the election. Surely there will be a winner and surely there will be losers. And so we all call on our contestants to accept the outcomes of the elections, because we undertake and we commit to ensuring that the elections are free, they are fair, they are credible, they are transparent.
Well, up next is Business Updates with Sweetie Abochi.
Now let's do some business stories. Economist Dr. Eduowusu Sarkodie is urging the Ghana Revenue Authority to provide data on sectors underperforming When it comes to the revenue mobilization, the Ghana Revenue Authority posted 68 billion Ghana cedis as part of its 2024 mid-year revenue target. And speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie said despite recording such impressive figures, it's still important to determine the underperforming sectors in order to find measures to improve revenue mobilization from those sectors.
We have to disaggregate to know which of the sectors are growing faster and which ones are growing slowly, so that it will inform policymakers on which areas to actually emphasize more. Like you said, if it's from international trade, or it's from taxes, or from non-tax revenue, is it from royalties, is it from e-levy, or which angle is it coming from? So we have to disaggregate. So we need the data. They must provide us with the details so that we will interrogate it and plot the graph and know which areas are growing faster and which areas are growing slowly, so that policymakers can intervene to address whatever issue there is. But I think reading the report, they made mention of the fact that sometimes they have changed from enforcement to compliance, like, talking to the people, encouraging the people to pay and simplifying the tax system for the taxpayers. I think all these things are good, whether it's international trade tax or domestic trade tax. All these things are good. You have to simplify it and make the payments easy. It shouldn't cost the payer so much to pay tax. If it costs the person so much to pay tax, the person will not pay. If it takes more time, this person spends more time in paying, they will not pay. So let's leverage digitization. I've made this point, I'm making the point again, that government has spent so much on investing in digitization or digital infrastructure. It is time to leverage that for revenue collection, because digitization will remove the middlemen, interpersonal relations, and reduce corruption.
Now let's take a look at the currency market. And that's it for our business updates. Denise Yapomeje takes over again.
Thank you, Sweetie Abochi. That's it for AM News. But after this is the news review. We'll be joined by Bernard Mona of Arise Ghana, Afil Moni, former GJA president, and Dr. Paul Grave Boachidankwa, his government spokesperson on governance and security. My name is Denise Yapomeje. Enjoy the rest of the show and have a lovely day.